Yeah, hello and welcome to another update video about Luna Classic. We have dropped a little bit lower since the last video. I had to adjust the wave count. That's not a problem. We talked about the wave pattern being potentially unreliable. So that should have given you a warning. We have now retraced. If we look at this entire wave pattern here, we have retraced now with the latest price basically to the 50% FIB level here at 24784. That is basically still in the support range that I gave you when we were up here. So we've come down and this is a normal range for a wave 2 correction, yeah, in yellow. So that's also what we're looking at here, that we had here possibly a wave 1. This here is currently still a wave 2 correction. Bear in mind, an Elliott Wave analysis on Luna Classic, potentially a bit unreliable. But we still do it and we take a look at it because there have been so many requests, but it is still a bit of a messy chart. Nevertheless, all of our targets were reached also to the upside, and we did expect that retracement. Basically still in the range, couldn't really get off the ground here. I did show you in the last video that we had here potentially the chance to count this as a, not an impulse, only as a diagonal. Yeah, so already that let us down a little bit and it wasn't very reliable. And I told you that this was possibly a 1, 2, 3, 4 as a diagonal, but we never saw the fifth wave. So I told you to get this as a more reliable pattern, we would need to see a fifth wave. Now, didn't see that. Very clear 3-wave move. It topped in 3 waves. So I have to assume that this is a larger ABC correction. That, to be fair, could have topped out now. There was strong support here at around, yeah, roughly. I mean, there's always a bit of a range here and very, let's say, a bit of a broad dynamic range here with Luna Classic around the 22400 level, yeah, roughly. Now there is massive support here, or at least significant support. You can see that it's been topping here, been supported here, and now here quite strongly. I mean, generally, yeah, generally, if you measure that as the length of the wave A, you could even, from a traditional point of view, you would expect this to go down to possibly even 11155. That would be quite a strong drop. Don't necessarily think we'll get there. For me, it's that support level is very important, and possibly here that 17293 level. But these are key support levels. So we have pulled back to a support zone, and yeah, by all means, from here we could start. We have seen a bit of a reaction, but there's no evidence that the downtrend is over yet. What is very attractive here currently is that a trend line can be drawn, and a breakout of the same could be a possible trade. Now, again, be very careful with Luna Classic, yeah, but we are definitely now at support here. Will this support hold or not? I can't promise that to you, but if we see a signal to the upside, that could be a breakout of that descending trend line, then we could go first of all here to the 32130 range, yeah, and very important, we would then need to, and if all of this is a bullish pattern, we would need to go to the 000-51320, and very importantly, basically, yeah, the 000-6 whatever range, yeah, we need to break that swing high really. That's what we need to break so that the chart can really promise to us that this is something more bullish. At the moment, it's all the move down currently looks corrective. I have to tell you that. Yeah, it looks corrective, which is a good signal. So there could very well be an impulse following. We have retraced to the 50% FIB level. That's all fine. Yeah, that's all within the range of a wave 2. Now, again, important to understand, if we lose this red line here that I mentioned to you, 22500, we could very well quite quickly come down to the next one at 17380. So again, I can't promise you that this support is holding, but as soon as a signal comes here for a possible breakout to the upside, we could see a bit of a spike here to the upside. Yeah, important to understand that there is now on the 4-hour chart, or was it just the 1 hour? Let me just see. But no, we see a slight bullish divergence on the 4-hour, but it's even a bit clearer on the 1-hour chart. Yeah, between that low here and that low, so we see a slightly higher low actually on the RSI. So there's a slight bullish divergence, only very slight bullish divergence, but you don't really see the I mean, at the moment you see the downtrend slowing down a little bit. So yeah, we might get towards the end of this downtrend. But again, until we see a signal here that we are moving up, we are following the trend, which is currently down. And I gave you the key support levels. Again, signal would be a breakout of the trend line, and a spike above the most recent swing high would be a possible breakout that could take us to ideally the 0.00600 range. And eventually we would need to get to the 0.001 level, yeah, for this white wave 3, which is the higher level wave, in generally the higher level impulsive pattern. So that's sort of the roadmap. But again, unreliable here, Lunar Classic, in terms of Elliott Wave counts, because it is a bit of a messy chart, of course, as you know. But so far we've adhered actually very nicely to it. You know, we've reached the targets, we've now hit support target, haven't really moved away from it yet. So we've pulled deeper into support, quite a good counter reaction. And if we now see a break of the trend line here, that could be the, yeah, a catalyst for a new rally.